Now, let me say this clearly. This is not a Gen Z bashing video. Every generation brings something valuable to the workplace. Gen Z is creative, expressive, tech-savvy, bold, and more willing to challenge unhealthy systems. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. But there is a workplace conversation happening quietly in boardrooms, HR offices, and leadership meetings, and almost nobody wants to say it out loud. Some professionals are entering the workplace with strong technical skills, but weak professional presence. And that gap is costing opportunities.
Manners on the go.
Imagine losing opportunities not because you lacked talent, but because of how you come across professionally. Not your qualifications, not your intelligence, your presence. Right now, there is a workplace conversation happening quietly behind closed doors, in HR meetings, leadership sessions, and executive programs, and almost nobody wants to say it out loud. Managers are frustrated, young professionals are frustrated, and honestly, both sides feel misunderstood. One group says, people don't expect professionalism anymore. The other group says, we're tired of outdated workplace culture. And somewhere in the middle, communication is breaking down. Now, let me say this clearly before we continue. This is not a Gen Z bashing video. Every generation brings something valuable to the workplace. Gen Z is creative, expressive, tech-savvy, bold, and more willing to challenge unhealthy systems. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. But there is a workplace conversation happening quietly in boardrooms, HR offices, and leadership meetings, and almost nobody wants to say it out loud. Some professionals are entering the workplace with strong technical skills, but weak professional presence. And that gap is costing opportunities. And I should say this is not just an online conversation. It's actually one of the recurring conversations I have with managers and business leaders during executive programs and training sessions at the business school. Many organizations are genuinely trying to understand how to bridge the communication and professionalism gap emerging in today's workplace. Because on one hand, they appreciate the creativity, boldness, and fresh thinking younger professionals bring. But on the other hand, many leaders are quietly asking, how do we help young professionals succeed professionally without losing their individuality? And honestly, I think that's an important question, because this conversation is not really about blaming a generation. It's about helping people become more effective, more self-aware, and more adaptable in professional spaces. One HR manager shared something interesting with me recently. She said, we interview brilliant candidates, smart, creative, qualified, but sometimes within the first 5 minutes, you can already sense a professionalism gap. Not because the person lacked intelligence, but because of small behaviors like arriving distracted, poor greetings, weak eye contact, overly casual language, checking phones mid-conversation, speaking to senior colleagues the same way they speak to friends online. Small things, but small things shape perception, and perception shapes opportunities. Now, let me paint a familiar picture. A young graduate, let's call his name David, joins a company full of excitement. He's intelligent, confident, and very active online. In fact, he already has a strong personal brand on social media. On his first week, he walks into meetings casually chewing gum. He responds to emails with one-line replies. Sometimes he messages his manager with things like "seen" or "okay." During presentations, he multitasks on his laptop while others are speaking. And when senior colleagues give feedback, his response is often, "That's how our generation communicates." And here's the interesting part. David is not rude. That's important. He's actually talented, he's creative and well-meaning, but he doesn't fully understand that workplace communication operates differently from social media communication. A few months later, a leadership opportunity opens up within the team. David expects to be considered, but instead, the opportunity goes to someone else. Someone less flashy, less vocal online, but more composed, more adaptable, and easier to trust professionally. And this is where the real issue begins. Many young professionals believe workplace success is only about competence. But in reality, workplace success is also about emotional intelligence, communication, adaptability, and professional awareness. The truth is, every workplace has unspoken rules. Not toxic rules, not oppressive rules, just professional expectations. Things like reading the room, knowing when to speak casually and when not to, understanding hierarchy without losing your personality, communicating respectfully, following through professionally. And this is not a Gen Z issue, by the way. Every generation has had to learn workplace culture. Millennials had to learn it. Gen Z had to learn it. Boomers had to learn it. The difference now is that social media has blurred the line between personal spaces and professional spaces. We live in a world where people vlog their workday, tweet their frustrations instantly, and communicate casually all day long. So naturally, some of that behavior enters the workplace. But here's the challenge. The workplace still runs heavily on perception, trust, and professionalism. And whether we like it or not, people are constantly assessing, can I trust this person? Can this person represent the organization well? Can this person handle responsibility? Can this person communicate naturally under pressure? These questions matter. Now let's balance this conversation fairly because honestly, older generations also get some things wrong. Some workplaces mistake professionalism for fear. Some managers discourage authenticity. Some leaders refuse to adapt to changing communication styles. And that creates tension too. Professionalism should not mean losing your humanity. You should still be able to be creative, have personality, express ideas, set healthy boundaries, protect your mental health. The goal is balance. Not becoming robotic, not becoming overly casual, just balance. You can be modern and still be professional. You can be confident and still be respectful. You can be authentic and still understand workplace etiquette. That's maturity. And honestly, the professionals who will thrive in the future are not necessarily the loudest or the trendiest. They will be the people who know how to adapt. People who can move comfortably between casual conversations, executive meetings, digital spaces, professional environments. That flexibility is powerful. And let me share a real example. I remember having a conversation with a tech executive during a program at the business school. He told me something that really stayed with me. He said he intentionally created a very relaxed work culture for his team. For him, competence mattered more than appearance. So his staff came to work in slides, t-shirts, jeans, Crocs, very casual dressing. And honestly, in the tech world, that culture is becoming increasingly common. To him, it wasn't a problem until something unexpected happened. A major opportunity came up rather suddenly. He needed to take a few members of his team for an important bid presentation. And that was when reality hit him. None of them was prepared for the room they were about to enter. No one was properly dressed for a high-level client presentation. No one understood the difference between internal comfort culture and external professional expectations. And he told me afterwards, almost laughing at himself, TBC, now I understand this conversation about appearance and professional presence. And that story is important because it highlights something many professionals miss. Professionalism is not always about rigid rules. Sometimes it's simply about understanding context. There's a difference between a casual internal workday and representing your organization externally. There's a difference between comfort and preparedness. And the professionals who thrive are usually the ones who know how to adjust appropriately for the room they're entering. Let me give you another simple example. Imagine two employees attend the same meeting. One walks in distracted, drops in a chair casually, responds with short phrases, and barely engages. The other walks in calmly, greets confidently, listens attentively, contributes thoughtfully, and follows up afterwards. Who do you think people would trust with leadership opportunities? Exactly. And this is why this conversation matters. Because many career setbacks today are not happening because people lack intelligence. They're happening because people underestimate professional presence. Now let's do a quick self-check. Ask yourself honestly, do I communicate differently online than I do professionally? Do I know how to read the room? Do I interrupt often? Do I come across too casual in serious spaces? Do I handle feedback maturely? Do I know how to balance confidence with professionalism? If any of these questions made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is self-awareness, and self-awareness is where growth begins. Here's my final thought. Professionalism is evolving. Yes, workplace culture is changing, absolutely. But respect, emotional intelligence, communication skills, and professional awareness will never go out of style. Never. Because at the end of the day, people may admire talent, but they trust professionalism. And trust is still the currency of opportunity. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you think workplace professionalism is changing for better or for worse? Let's discuss it respectfully in the comments. And if this conversation resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone navigating today's workplace culture. Until next time, carry confidence, courtesy, and class wherever you go. I'm Tosin Babasaya Craig, and this is Manners on the Go. Goodbye.
Manners on the Go.